talk about these things, there are things that you will learn from and you will find insightful and you will find probably clarity on various things and you would find something actionable as well. I hope everyone can still hear me.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, to kind of guide the conversation, I have a little presentation I just want to share with you. And I'm going to present my screen. 1 second. Okay, presenting now. Sorry, this thing can be clunky once in a while. Uh, all right. I guess you can see my screen.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, this is the topic we are gave me to actually talk about. And yeah, from chaos to clarity, the unconventional wisdom of life. To be honest, if you asked me when I saw this topic, and I was just thinking, which I don't know, is that a message for me? Let me check.
No, 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 not yet.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying that when I saw this topic, I was just thinking I am not very sure about the audience, but I was thinking that if everyone is a Christian, I would just say just go read your Bible. Like that is the unconventional wisdom of life. But yeah, for the sake of that, I just like I said, I created this slide to kind of guide the conversation on some of the things I'll be talking about this evening. And, once again, I hope you find it very, very insightful. So, yeah, uh, let me start with, sorry, 1 second. Let me start with myself. I mean, there's been like an introduction, like a whole video made about me already. But yeah, I just thought maybe this would be a nice one way to actually do like an introduction. I won't spend too long on this. I didn't know there was going to be like a full video, but yeah, just I think it's always nice to have something like this so that you get to know who you're talking to, and probably have more context to some of the things to some of the things I talk about. And I just thought a fun way to actually tell people about me is using emojis, right? And that's why I filled the screen with some of the emojis of some things I find interesting, right? So I'll just start randomly, right? So well, let me not start randomly. Let me go one after the other. So of course you can see a tennis ball. Yeah. That is a sport I picked up like 3 months ago that I've been really enjoying, and it's been really beautiful, right? So I mean, I do that outside of work, and today I still played tennis this morning with a couple of friends after a meeting. I was in the meeting as well, which is quite strange. The second emoji we have here is just someone behind a MacBook. And yeah, I'm a software engineer. I've been doing this for like 10 years professionally now. I studied computer science again, like it was said. I studied computer science in Lautech and graduated 2013. And since then, like I've been working in tech essentially as a software engineer. In that space of like within 10 years, I've like co-founded 2 businesses and all that. Yeah, I mean, I write code. Let's, in simple terms. There is a musical note there. I'm a big lover of music. Mostly gospel music or good music, let's put it that way. And yeah, and I play the bass guitar. I mean, I haven't played in a while, but yeah, I I still do. I know I can still do my stuff if you bring a guitar now. I love photography as well. That's why you have that emoji about photography and videography as well. I've been doing a lot of that recently, and it's been fun. I just think it's a very lovely way to actually capture moments and express yourself. Yeah, that's it about me. I'm Nigerian, born and bred, raised in Nigeria. In fact, my hometown self, you know. I won't mention it for the sake of this call. I'm currently based in England. Moved here last year. Yeah. The other emoji we have down there is I love the gym. I try as much as possible to work out 4 times a week. And yeah, and yeah, I'm having progress there. I'm happily married. Been married for almost 5 years now. Yeah, that's that's interesting as well. To a beautiful woman. To a beautiful woman. Yeah. I'm a Christian. That's the last emoji. I'm a Christian. I think yeah, that's all about me. Yeah, that's that with that slide. So yeah, I will move to the next one now. So some of the things I wanted to talk about is, there is, a lot of uncertainty in life that we know. And by the way, most of the pictures, every picture you're going to see in this slide is pictures taken by me. Some of them with my phone, some of them with, camera and things like that. I mean, why do I need Unsplash? I don't need Unsplash when I have a lot of pictures I don't use anyways. And this one we're currently looking at the screen is one of the things I feel like I should, talk about first. Um, Considering, the audience. And sorry, I hope I didn't skip one slide. I feel I might have skipped one. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll come to that one later. This is my slide 3. Sorry. So the first thing I have here is challenges and opportunities in disguise. And like I said, to be honest, I'm just going to be telling my story. So something happened in 2012, like everyone else. I went on IT in Lagos. I went to do my IT in Lagos, and I met someone that wanted to build something over the weekend. It was a challenge. It's something I've not done before. It's something I wasn't sure when I was meeting with. I met him on a Friday morning actually, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure I know how to do what he wanted me to do. I have an idea, but I wasn't sure. It was not clearly formed in my mind. Right. But after the meeting and after breaking down the problem and things like that, it's a software, it's an application. After breaking it down, I went home and I got back to me and said, yes, I can do it. Um, which I mean, there's only two ways that could have ended. Either I ended up, not doing it the way I wanted or doing it really well, and I was glad it actually went well. And the what I was just trying to say from and he needed the timeline I was expecting. He needed someone that can. I was meeting him on a Friday. He needed something working on a Monday. It was a challenge that I got home that Friday night. After getting back to him, I had to go. 2012 was a long time ago. It feels like a very long time ago. Anyways, I rushed home to buy fuel into the generator enough to last me the entire weekend, so that I can do all the things I wanted to do on my hood. I used a Toshiba laptop that year. Interesting. And yeah, I was able to by Monday morning I have something ready, though I didn't sleep as much. But of course, that's what you use your young years to do. You are meant to use it to also and not sleep so much. um then I on Monday morning I was able to send him something, and he was really really impressed. I got paid for it. It was interesting for a young guy. It was really cool, and it didn't end there. I went back to school for my 500 level in Lautech, and I was on retainer. So when I say retainer, like on salary to keep improving the software and keep adding to it and things like that, right? And what I was just trying to say here is that, that me saying yes to that challenge was actually like an opportunity for me that I didn't know, right? I wasn't so confident it's something I would be able to do, but I was glad at the end of the day that actually, with the little understanding that I have and with the support of people I have, I knew that if I do it, I mean, I was glad I was able to deliver. I was glad I was able to get it done, right? And that's the point I'm trying to make here, that the the time I spent over that weekend, I mean, it's a weekend I'll probably never forget in my life, because most of the times in one's career, there are just moments that build up on top of those things. There are just those small moments that if you have to make a movie about your life, they are just those moments that will be inside the movie. You know how they do biography of top guys, and if you have to make a movie about Steve Jobs, there is going to be a particular moment, probably when he was moving into the garage for them to start building the first Apple computer. That is something they will not miss out that detail. Do you get that weekend is very I mean, if there's ever going to be a movie about my life, I hope there's just going to be an actor rushing to the filling station to buy fuel into the generator, you know, and just to show how much I embraced that challenge. And I didn't let the fact that I didn't have the full picture, I didn't have the full answer, I didn't allow that to limit me. And I think that is one thing that's really going to be helpful to anyone, really. And it's still helping me up to this point, right? Some of the things that we do is not something that is fully formed. It's not something that is, some of the things that we do is not something that at that moment you can see the end. You can see that it looks like this thing, ahead, but it is as you get closer, as you get clearer, gets closer to it, that is when it actually gets clearer, right? So in as much as possible, challenges in whatever shape or form that they come, they are actually an opportunity for us to stretch ourselves. Like there is almost no, how do I say it? There is almost, I mean, the way I see it is that it's either there is a lesson or there is a success story from something. I don't think there is failure in quotes. If something probably failed, you've just learned a way not to do that stuff. So yeah. Let me move on to the next slide. I think I've dealt too much on this point actually. So yeah, which brings me to like the next point. I took this picture in church last Sunday, and it's because of something that actually stood out to me. Just I took it during the sermon. I was just thinking it'd be nice to have this on my phone, and if we can all look closely, we can actually see that part where our plan is just to there's just going to be that progress, right? That smooth progress. But to be honest, nobody really have it like that, except maybe Temi or Tedola. Well, but my point here is, right, some people, most of us, like 99.9% of us, have to. Our journey is not going to be smooth in life. It's going to be chaotic. It's just the plain truth. I'm not trying to scare anybody. We probably all know by now. Before we get here, it's going to be from one, probably from one exam. So I can hear myself. One is echoing.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is good now. Sorry. Um, yeah. So, what was I trying to say? Yeah. I was saying that our journey is not actually the way we wanted it to be. It's not going to be that smooth, right? And it's just the truth about life, right? And it is very, very important to just have that goal setting and to have planning in place. Right. I know some of these things we know it already. Like Steven said, Steven that talked earlier said it's good to be reminded about some of these things, right? Because I feel like probably there's something new I'm going to tell you guys today that you've probably not heard before, right? This is just meant to be a reminder and also like an encouragement that you probably seen someone that has probably gone through some of the things that you are going to go through, and you are seeing them on the other side that they are doing fine. It's just, probably that's going to encourage you that, okay, whatever you're going through, you're just going to be fine, right? And what I'm saying about goal setting is that it is really, really important that regardless of all the chaotic and everything, it is important. It is actually important to have, a proper goal, because that can kind of guide in those times when a lot of things is not going the way it should, right? And as you can see in the picture as well, it's there's just a lot of lows and highs and stuff like that. And it kind of connects to my previous point as well, where I mentioned that every single challenge you see is actually an opportunity for growth and things like that, right? So regardless of what our journey looks like, it is good to have plan, right? To have a plan, have a clear picture of where you want to be, right? And one of the things I mentioned here is it's okay to change the timeline, because that's one thing that we do a lot. We humans, we most of us know how to set a plan or to set a goal, but I think the mistake we fail to make, most of the time, is to adjust that timeline if we need to, because it is not every single time things goes. I mean, almost more than half of the time things will go according to plan. I'm not sure it's everybody on this call that got into the university when they wanted to. You probably don't have your desired GPA at 300 level or 400 level, and it's not everybody that will get their desired job probably at first, and it's not everybody that will probably so there's just so many things that will not fall into place, right? And why it is good to have that plan, it is also good to know that this plan you have is actually written with pencil, with a wet ink, something you can always clean off, something you can always clean off and write another one, because you can adjust the timeline. And I said God did because God adjusted the timeline of a lot of things. His initial plan for mankind was for us to be in Garden of Eden, not struggling Monday to Friday, trying to have a roof and food in our mouth. That was his initial plan. He wanted us to just be chilling. I mean, that guy didn't want us for any stress, I'm telling you. And I'm still talking about God, don't mind me. The but yeah, that didn't go according to plan. And you can see, like, almost throughout the Bible, that there was just so many efforts to actually restore mankind to himself. He tried using the prophets, that didn't work. He tried using kings to, kind of lead the people and set all of those things. That didn't work as well. You know, he tried the law first before the prophet, all of that didn't work. And he tried, then decided to say, okay, maybe I go have a son now. Let me send that one, see if that's gonna work. And I think, that's actually the bingo card, right? What I'm just trying to say here is that it's good to have a goal, it's good to set those goals, right? But as much as possible, you need to be ready to clean those goals and adjust it when you're faced with a new reality. Like I said, life is chaotic. It will just not go according to plan, right? And yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. My next slide is about breakfast. And I feel like I should talk about this because you know there are moments in life when things just get super cloudy and not so clear, right? By the way, I cook this food. It looks good, right? I should be a chef. Anyways, let me go back to I digress. Yeah, what I'm trying to say here is that we are more resilient than we imagine. And this is my point, right? I've been saying that things do not go to plan. Things do not go to, the distance between being, you know, chaos and chaotic stuff to clarity is not a straight line, like I've said, right? In between that journey, there's just going to be so many, there's so many stories, there's going to be so many things happening there. And it is important to know that when you're going through those things, they are mostly temporary, and they are, they are things that you would probably make it through. And this is what I'm just trying to say. I mean, there was a time when probably your biggest struggle in school is one exam or whatever, and you're just thinking about how to write jump and pass jump and get to 50 so you can study medicine. That was a challenge at some point in life, right? But you will realize that you probably wrote it. I mean, for people that wrote jam multiple times, you wrote it the first time and you scored 198. Chai. And I mean, it's very hard. It can be painful after all the jam lesson and everything. 198. And this is you want to study medicine. Then, you just know that, okay, probably we try again next year. And I mean, what I'm just trying to tell in that story is, yes, you get that result. It's not the best thing. It's not what you wanted it to be. It does not get you closer to the goal of being the medical student that you want to be, right? But and it's hard after you've seen that result. Almost, I'm sure that when you open the results or wherever you check it, the pain and the disappointment that I scored 198. How am I going to tell that Dishola I scored 198? You know, and it is hard, but the truth is you probably, waited for the next year, tried that, and you wrote it and you got, 260 something, and you were able to get the course that you wanted. I mean, for the most, I mean, if your school is kind to you and they didn't give you any course. But yeah, what I'm just trying to say here is it eventually worked out in the end. right? And we will not know this until we experience some of those things. Some of us don't know how strong we are until we chop breakfast, and that's why I have to mention this. You know how you've been in a relationship for a while, and they serve you breakfast, and to be like your world is crashing is a lie. In the next 3 6 months, you just be okay. You would have forgotten that, oh boy, I was a fush, I was a mumu for thinking that was the end of my world. And that is almost the same thing with so many challenges we're going to have in life. Of course, I'm not trying to say in terms of magnitude they are going to be the same thing. I mean, there's going to be like bigger things to bigger fishes to fry. But my point is, most of the time we'll come out on the other side and come out better, right? And I just feel that's really really important. So on that journey to finding clarity, right, it's important to know that while you're struggling and trying to figure those things out, you are more resilient, you have more power than you think, and you will not know until you've actually gone through some of these things. And that's why we had to, I guess that's why life is designed that way, so that we go through it the way it is. All right. With that, I'm moving on to the next slide, which is, I mean, we've probably heard that wisdom is the principal thing before. And, in the context of school, I would just say curiosity is like the headmistress. Your principal, your headmistress, they are like very, very important people in primary school, secondary school. I can't remember, but you get the gist. What I'm trying to say here is that curiosity is one thing that I think if there is any skill that anybody should have in this life, is how to be curious, is how to question stuff. It's almost like that is like the most important thing. If you know how to question stuff and find answers for things or to things, I feel like there's nothing you can't achieve. Right. So for example, I was telling you the other time that I had to do something over the weekend. I understood the task, but I didn't have the 100%. I wasn't sure I have the ability to actually deliver it 100%. Probably I was like 60%. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to try. If it doesn't work, I'm going to reach out to this friend or that friend, for me to do that will help, you know and I was able to do it eventually, just because I was I said yes to the challenge, and also I was curious enough that, oh, this is something I would love to solve. And yeah, that curiosity is really 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 important. That's one thing I've also learned, back in school, and while I was in Lautech. As a computer science student, we learn so many programming languages, we learn so many things over the year, and we're just switching and then eventually sticking to what works, right? But during that whole time, the most important thing wasn't even the programming language that we were learning. It was the curiosity of how computer works, how this works, how can I write this instruction that my computer will be able to um, you know, my computer will be able to translate this way and perform what I want it to do, right? So it is that curiosity, right? I used to tell people, and people don't know. See, if you know how to use Google alone and plus maybe ChatGPT nowadays, right? Because I mean, we're just in the world of AI. You are probably smarter than you think. You get, just because using those two resources alone, you can find answers to a lot of things, even when things are not clear, even when things are muddy and not sure, right? And that's why I'm saying that it is good here that to question things, that even the things that you're used to. I mean, it's okay to question why is 1 plus 1 equals to 2. It's a good question, and that might just lead you into mathematics and lead you into like so many things. Why is everything divided by zero, undefined or whatever? Why is that? Question the normal things that you are even used to, right? And also explore a different perspective. There are just so many different perspectives to life, and some of the times when we are going through, when we are going through life and going through some of the things we are going through, it kind of clouds our thinking sometimes, that we are not able to see from our own perspective. that if you just look at something from another person's angle, you will get a clearer picture of what that thing looks like, right? But you're not going to get there if you're not curious about finding answers, if you're not curious about finding, solutions and things like that, right? So curiosity is, I think curiosity is just very, very important. I feel like it's what separates people that are actually actively learners, and they are doing stuff, to people that are docile and not active and things like that. Because you just see some people, the way their mind works, they just want to know how to do A, B, C, or they want to be good at this, and because of that, they are putting in all their energy and all the things that, all the everything they are putting in, everything that they can think of into acquiring that skill. So yeah, curiosity is actually one thing that makes a difference. Okay, and yeah, that brings me to the next slide as well. And this picture, I took it this morning, by the way. I was just thinking, oh, I can put a new picture, just some people having like random conversation just to show community. Again, like I said, I don't need on splash or Shutterstock when I can probably pick pictures from my library and put into these things. But yeah, my point here is around mentorship and community. In we a lot of the time we find ourselves through others, and this is what I'm trying to say. There are so many things that is not clear to us, that until you probably it is refined when you share with people, when you're in your community, when you're talking to people. And that community can just be people probably on the same level with you, or can be people that are hop ahead of you, like people with more experience, like in terms of mentors and things like that, right? And I just wanted to mention that in trying to find clarity or trying to find purpose, there's the need for that mentorship, and there's the need for a very strong community. And mentorship, because you need people that have probably gone ahead, that you can learn from, right? You need people that have experienced some of the things that you're experiencing. To be honest, I don't think there's anything we are all going through in this life that anybody has probably not gone through before. If you chop breakfast yesterday, you're not going to be the first person who chop breakfast. You know, if you hammer today, you're not going to be the first person that hammer, and somebody has hammered. The value may just be different, or the amount may be different. But you get my point. So there are people that have probably gone ahead of you in so many various things, that it is a good opportunity to actually um learn from them. And if you have the opportunity to, please leverage on it. And when I'm saying mentorship, it doesn't even have to be something up close and personal, right? For example, this picture I'm showing you, I took it with my phone. I was far away from them, like 5x zoom. It's a distance. I mean, I wish I have the actual, um, you know, picture showing my distance to them, just to show you the zoom level I had to do. And this is why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because the mentors you need in life, they don't have to be people close to you. Social media has make it so easy now that you can zoom in to anybody and get closer to
Mm,
them,
mm,
right? Like you can how do I say it? You can, I mean, not in a creepy way, right? Don't be creepy about it. But what I'm trying to say is, you can, with social media, you can get closer to people that you most likely, you know, you can't even probably physically for the next 50 or 100 years, you may not get close to them. So for example, if I want to learn from Steve Jobs today, I don't have to die for me to learn from him. Do you get, like, I can literally go on YouTube and consume all of the talks he has given, all of the Apple keynote. I can go online and read all of the articles, watch the movie about him, read the books written about him, you know, and I can probably say the same thing about Bill Gates. I may not meet Bill Gates. I mean, it would be nice to meet Bill Gates. I mean, it would be nice to meet Bill Gates, right? But I may not, I may not meet him in my life. Do you get? And it's a lot of the Elon Musk. I mean, it would be nice to just bump into him when we wanted to buy a car in the morning, but it may not happen. Do you get? Or it would be nice to meet Dangote, but those things may not happen, right? But it does not mean I cannot learn from them. It does not mean they cannot be my mentor. There are ways they run businesses, there are ways they launch stuff that I can actually learn a lot from. And you can do the same as well. You don't have to, gone are the days when you have to know the person and say, ah, this is my mentor. I mean, it's good if you have someone close to you that is able to hold your hands and show you the way to go. I mean, I'm happy for you. But there's just a lot of, right now, you have a lot of resources around you that you can learn from. If you want to be a Kim Kardashian tomorrow, you can also learn from people like that. There is just so many, there is so many things that, there's so many, what's it called? There are so examples around us. There are so many people that kind of model the kind of probably the place we want to be or the kind of virtues that we want to have, right? And they've figured it out to an extent, right? So as much as possible, if there's anything you can use today that will get you closer to them, I can tell you it's your social media. It's the internet that you have, it's on the Instagram that you have, the YouTube you probably watch, the Twitter that you probably have. So as much as possible, leverage those tools to actually get closer to people. It doesn't have to be one-on-one for you to learn from those people, right? And you can be inspired by their story. There's a way you learn about, somebody growing up somewhere and going somewhere, and you just wow, you're just inspired by their story because they actually shared it, right? So there is, I mean, leverage on that. And the other side of community is really, really important. These are the people that actually keep us grounded while we try to still figure ourselves out, when we try to figure out purpose, and when we try to gain clarity, right? So it's really, really important to have that, community of people as well that you can learn from. As much as you are looking up to people, it's also good, to have that community and be surrounded with people like that. And it's also good because in the future, these are the dollars. These are going to be the Dangotes. Do you get? These are going to be the people in places that you probably not be, right? You want to, because you most of the time we make the mistake of trying to network up and network to people. For example, everybody wants to meet Tony Elumelu, but there is probably a friend, one of your friend right now in the next 20 years is probably going to be the Tony Elumelu of your generation. Do you get? So it's also very important for you to maintain that horizontal relationship with people as well. And that's why you need that community. There are people that you're going to grow together and for you to, do all those things. There is now that I'm talking about it, I was thinking there's probably going to be like a better picture I could have put here because you know through my years in school, I have people that we all went to school together. We all graduated, did computer science in Lautech, and yeah, most of those guys. I mean, everyone is doing fine. Most of everyone, I mean, almost everyone, everyone is doing fine in their regard. And there was still like a hangout. I had a couple of them like earlier in the year where we all went to our wives and children, and it was beautiful. Right? Again, just watch out because it's very very important for me to maintain those relationships because and just the same way it is for them because these are all of us that we are going to grow up. I still have friends that are into the medical space. I have people that are doing well in politics as well, various sectors like that, and it's just beautiful to see because like I told you, in the next 10, 20 years, these are going to be the ministers and these are going to be the, all of these various capacities. And even if they are not in that capacity, they, having them in your life is actually going to keep you grounded so that when you are chopping the breakfast I talked about in the other slide, you have people there to support you. You have the people there to hold your hands. You have people there that makes it less painful than it should be. You have people there that later on, 6 years later, when you want to laugh, you can laugh about that time you were mumuing. And don't mind me. I'm just really joking. I hope nobody's taking offense to this. Why am I talking so much about breakfast when I should be talking about dinner? Anyways, yeah, let me move on to the next slide. Yeah, this is my next slide, and this one is like a good news to everyone, which is that we are not the same, right? And I feel like it's really really important that we all take note of that as we try to as trying to find our footing in the world and find where we fit in and where we the place that is meant for us. It is very, very important to know that we are all not the same. There's a reason why I'm Rufus and why Muiwa is not Rufus, right? And even if, let's even say, paraventure, the Muiwa second name is Rufus, he probably doesn't have my height. He probably didn't go to this to school when I did. Probably doesn't have the friends that I have. So there's just a lot that what's your shoe size, Muiwa? I'm just curious.
46.
For you see, he has a bigger leg than I do. So there is what I'm trying to say here is there are so many things that separate us. I'm size 44 by the way, 44, 45. There's so many things that separate us that makes us unique, right? And it is really, really important for us to actually leverage on that and know that. Like if there is anything you need to know today, and it is that you're not the same with the next person. There's a reason why that is your name. Even if you happen to find and someone else, you bear TT and you find another person that bears TT, I can bet it with you. Like by the time I start naming five, six, seven, there's some just physical, so many physical attributes that set you apart, let alone the experiences that you've been through life. You probably don't have the same parents, you don't have the same siblings, you didn't go to the same primary school, you didn't go to the same secondary school. There's just so many things. There are so many experiences that set you apart, right? And it is very, very important for everyone to know that and also to leverage on it. It is like your unique advantage in the world, right? It is the thing that probably going to if that is what sets us apart. That is what differentiate us from that differentiate us from like other people, right? And it is also good for you to know because it will stop you from comparing yourself with others. Because by the time you are comparing yourself, for example, look at me now, the way I am comparing myself with Temi or Tedola, don't you think that would be foolishness? Because number one, my name is not Temi. Number two, my surname is not Tedola. Even if my name happens to even be Temi and my surname is Otedola is not my father, he does not know me from Adam. Do you get? Which means I am different and she's not me. I am not. How am I using her as an example? I don't know. That's the name that's coming to mind. Sorry. Anyways, but my point here is knowing that you are not the same is actually going to help you know that you should not be comparing yourself with anyone at all for whatever reason. You can look at this person is probably doing fine. They are probably at the they are probably at one level, or they are probably excuse me, they're probably at one level, they are doing something, and you'll be looking at yourself that why am I not this? Why am I not that? Why am I not Igba? Why am I not Awo? There's a reason why you are not Igba, there's a reason why you are not Awo. But it does not mean that you cannot be where you want to be. It does not. I'm sorry. I hope everyone here speaks Yoruba. But if you don't, well, I don't know how to translate some of the things I'm saying. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep it as English as possible. Anyways, so yeah, there's a reason why we are not these people, but that does not mean I can't be where they are. Do you get? It's just how you might be looking at some people and you feel like, oh, this is the probably the kind of life you want to live. This is the kind of they have the kind of career that you desire to have. But if you understand that you're not the same with that person, number one, it will not make you jealous. And instead, it will make you sit down and think of how are they doing it? What do they know that you probably don't know? What have they leaned into that you are probably yet to enter? What are they conscious of? What are the things they do? What are some of the things that they do that you know, you don't know? It will help you ask questions. It does not mean I can't be strive to be as rich as the Temi or $10. Do you get? I can try to do all of that, but I can't. If once I'm comparing myself to her, I'll be beating myself. I'll be worrying that why is my life like this? Why am I like that? Why am I blah, blah, blah. When I'm supposed to be using that mental energy for me to think, okay, what has this person done to be where they are, and what can I do in my life to actually effect those change and get things closer to where they are or where I want to be. It's probably not where they are that even you want to be. It's where you want to be. And like I said, the part of mentors is why you look at them and you probably seen an attribute, something that you desire, or they possess something that you want to have, it is good that you can look at them and learn from them, right? So yeah, it is just good for you to know that you're not the same with anybody. I mean, as much as we are on this earth, we are probably almost more than 8 billion. I don't know the population of the world right now. There is, I mean, there is no other Rufus out there that is me. I mean, there are so many Rufus. If you go online, you see a lot of Rufus. But there is probably no Rufus that has gone through things I've gone through. I've seen all the shaggies I've seen and all the Sakma I've seen in my life and all of those things. They are not me. Do you get? But if I see any one of them that is doing fine, I desire something. Oh, they dive it. They run a multi-million-dollar company or whatever. It doesn't stop me from that. Doesn't stop me from actually looking at their life and trying to see what can I learn from them that would help me move to where I want to be, right? So every single time, instead of comparing yourself with other people running their race on their own track, right? Just look at yourself. This is where I am right now. Take that assessment. This is where I am right now. This is where I want to be. What do I need to get to where I want to be? And I can look at other people that are running the race. Like, oh, what are they doing that I can use on my own rate, on my own race, that will get me to where I want to be. You're not doing it to copy them or to be like them. It's for you to help you on your own journey to where you want to be, right? And I really, really think that is really, really um um important for us to take note of, right? Yeah, moving on to the next one is our fun. You know, I know it can really be, I was saying life can be really, 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 very, very chaotic, right? But yeah, don't forget to have fun as much as possible. And this is why I'm saying this. There's just a way I feel like life, sort itself out eventually. For example, I mean, there are times I would just sit down and remember how there was a time when I look at people ahead of me and I wonder that how am I going to complete my JAMB or UTME application form? You know, at that time I have no idea because I'm here to probably, imagine you be in primary school and you see other people around you trying to, I mean, back in the day, they'll carry a brown envelope that they buy an actual form, they fill it out with paper, not online, like the way it is done now. Or it's now CBT, the rubbish. Anyways, um, what I'm trying to say here is they will fill it out, right? And then I used to look at them and I'll be like, how am I going to buy the form and fill it out? It used to be like something that wasn't clear. It used to be like a big deal. But eventually I got to that point, completed my UTME form, wrote the exam, gained admission, and that was it. Right. There are probably times when you might probably be in 100 level in university and you're thinking, how do people that do final year projects, how do they do it? How do they figure it? But the funny thing is, once you pass that phase, you just realize that, oh, you enter the phase, you got all the knowledge that you needed to for that phase, and you pass through it, and that's the end of it. That you now look back and be like, oh, that's actually how that works. And you get there, for example, now I might be thinking, how does Tim Cook lead a $1 trillion company? It's still like a mystery. But one day when I do it, take notes, write it down. I'm telling you today. But one day, like when I do it, it's just something you figure out along the way, right? In as much as I'm not going on that journey of figuring it out, it's very, very important for me to actually have fun while at it because some of these things just take care of themselves. Some of the things that we worry about, some of the things that I don't know. I don't know what your worry is going to be. It might be how to get that job or how to, cross into that career, how to do this and how to do that. I mean, I'm not saying there are no valid worries. It's okay to worry about those things, but it's really, really important that you don't allow that to steal the joy that you have. So, as much as possible, with the friends, with the community that you have, is really, really important for you to, have fun as much as possible. For example, I showed you the picture I took this morning from playing tennis. That's just a way of me going out that, despite all the code and everything that is going on, I need to still play game. I still need to sweat. I need to do these things. I need to be involved in community and build relationship with people. just doing all of those things. I need to laugh while at it. Don't take yourself too seriously. I mean, take yourself seriously, take your life seriously, but at the same time, life is not that serious, you know. And it's really about the balance, being able to hold those two balance in your head that life is serious, but at the same time, it's really not that serious. It's just life, we are just, and, so it's really important to be able to hold that two facts in your head and have that balance. It's also going to help to know when to actually put in the work and also when to just put the work aside and relax and have fun. Do you get, like, the clarity we are aiming for, the clarity we are all hoping to have? They all come in time, and you can almost not rush it. And it's just like what I was saying earlier regarding UTME form application. When you are in primary school, it probably looks like a big deal, but that clarity came over time. Do you get? It is as you get closer, it just gets clearer. It's like driving. You see somewhere ahead, it looks blurry. You can see you have a sense of your destination. It's not like you don't have a clear picture of what it looks like. But the farther you drive, the more you drive, the closer you get to it, the clearer it becomes, the closer it gets, right? So while you're on that journey, it's just good to take it easy and have fun while at it, leverage on the community that you have and all of those things. And what's my next slide? Oh, okay, yeah. I think that's the last one. Omo, I've been talking for 45 minutes. Chai. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Did I tell enough stories about myself? I don't know. But I guess you learned more about myself and from all the Atotonu translation in English, all the multiple words, right? I hope that you've learned something, uh, and I hope that you've been reminded of something, and I hope, yeah, you find something useful there. And yeah, I think that's everything about that I have to share with you today. Thank you so much once again. I'm going to stop here. I think there's a
Uh,
question answer round. I'm still here.
yes. Thank you so much. That was amazing. So I wanted to ask if life will sort itself out, will fun sort itself out also.
We what funds?
Fun. To have
Money?
fun. No,
Oh,
no, to
fun.
have fun.
Well, some of these things that, but it will sort itself out, but it really, really requires being intentional, right? There's just a lot of people that we all know those classmates that we have in school where they are so serious with life that you can't even catch them playing. Does that make sense? You can't catch them laughing, you know. But in as much as nobody's saying you should not take your academics serious, for example, but take it serious, but at the same time, laugh when you need to laugh. It's fun. I mean, it requires internationality, really.
Mhm. Amazing. Thank you. So the floor is open. If you have any question you want to ask him, um, you can either drop it or just raise your hand so that you can ask the question. Uh, so I'll give like 2 minutes. Thank you so much for the session. Okay. So I'll give like 2 minutes and see if you have questions. Yeah, I wanted
Yes,
to
sir. I have a question, sir.
okay, Jumon again.
Yes, sir.
That was how you did it yesterday. I wanted to ask a question and then you stopped me. But yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Just joking.
Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Rufus, for that very powerful section you had with us. Thank you very much. We are grateful, or I'm grateful. Sir, you said life would always sort itself and you always have your headway along as things goes on. But what if you are trying your best possible to make everything work out and it just seems as if things are not working out? What do you do in that case? Like you've tried all the old method, in life, and things are not still working out. What do you do, sir? Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, good question. Thank you for the question. What do you do when everything that you're probably trying doesn't work? Yeah, probably it's time to try something else as well. I know it may be like you've explored all the options, but some of the times we don't we with new information we're able to like make like better decisions and all of those things, right? And some of these things I'm saying is not it's not even going to be that's why I said life sorts itself out eventually, right? To an extent, most of us or all of us, we can only try, we can only optimize our life for many things. You can you can optimize your life for you can save money, you can do this, you can do everything in the books, and life is still not turn out the way you want it to be, right? And that's why I said have fun while at it. It's about the journey, it's not really about the destination, right? It is really, really important to have fun while you're at it, while you're still trying to figure those things out. I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom, but not all of us will get what we desire out of life. It's just the truth, right? If we all got, I mean, if we can all, if it's something that we're all going to get everything we want, probably we'll all be rich, living large with, with so many things, and we'll have it all figured out. Right. We'll probably have no reason to even wake up tomorrow morning just because, everything there's going to be money in your bank account, food is sure, you know, cars there outside to take you to where you want to go. You're sure you will spray money into one bed. Like so many things are just taken care of, right? But the truth is, it's not going to be like that. What we can just do as much as possible, all of us, we can only try our best to make this effort. We can try our best to put in all the best. It's all about the life is I feel like life is about optimizing, really. You you can't to an extent, there's no guaranteed outcome. You can only try your best towards that guaranteed outcome. You can only optimize towards the guaranteed outcome. You can save, 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 save. It doesn't mean that you have money tomorrow, or it does not mean that you will get you won't go broke. Do you get? Because things come up. Emergency can come up that would empty all your savings and things like that, right? So because that is not guaranteed, is the reason why I said have fun while at it, enjoy the journey, and really, again, you can only do your best, and you can only do as best as you know. That's why I said there is probably another information out there for people that is working out for them. Probably there is something else that they know that you don't know. So that's where curiosity comes in. That's constant search for, you know, more information to figure things out. Like they say, man sọ pé ẹni tó mọ̀wé ló mọ̀wé. Na person wey no book. Na person wey no way, no book. Anyways, I don't know how to say. I hope you get the gist. But what I'm trying to say there is, there is, and I'm not saying that in a dubious or a malicious thing, but if you're trying something is not working, and you probably have other people trying the same thing that is not working, you can look at them and try to learn from them. What are they doing better? What are they doing different that you're not doing? Right? And just try it. That's where curiosity is. Curiosity is going to make you be on that endless search for the knowledge that will help you make the difference that you want to make. But again, to be honest, it's still not guaranteed. If it is guaranteed to be, I'll not be working. The meeting myself and me what I had to this one, I will not be doing it. Um, I'll be in a private jet somewhere. If wishes are horses, let's put it that way. But yeah, nothing is guaranteed. But I really just hope that as you all try to figure it out, we have fun, and just keep searching. There's an answer somewhere. There's probably something someone knows. There's something they have figured out. There's something they are doing better that you can also apply to your life that is actually going to help you get the results that you want to get. And also don't compare yourself to others, because sometimes you think life is not working, but it's actually working for you, but you're looking at it from another person's perspective. You're looking at them and you wish to be like them, and you now feel like what is going on for you is not big deal. So don't compare as well. I hope that answered your question.
Hi,
Yes,
Damalayan.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Cool. Juwon, you might want to go next.
All right, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good
Good,
evening,
good
sir.
evening, sir.
Thank you for this session. Day one, day two, and today has been amazing for me, and I really want to say thank you. And I have two things to say. The first thing is I want to make a request. Like, is it a request now? Okay, let me just say,
I don't have
is
one
that
here. Don't mind it, don't mind it. Just joking, just joking. Please continue. Hey, Joan, are you there? Ah, Joan Zibino. Joan, I'm just joking. Please don't take it personal.
I guess it's network. Okay,
uh,
yeah, yeah. I can go ahead, Joe.
one session after this 3 days boot camp. That's the first thing I want to
So,
say. Now the second
Hi,
thing is
Joe.
that,
Sorry,
sorry, I
we
didn't
didn't
get
get
that
the
first
first
one.
thing. Yeah, please, can you just go over it again?
sir,
Can you go over it again, the first thing? Um,
okay, I want to ask if
I'm not sure.
after these 3 days,
I didn't get that.
I guess the network is the
You can try and type it so that we can read it.
Yeah, that might be helpful, Joan.
That
We
we can.
can't hear you, Joan. So if you can put it in the chat, I think that would be helpful.
yeah, sure. Super. Any other person? Why Joe is typing it? Yeah, just side you. I want to ask. Now, for you moving to a new environment, how do you find a community? How do you connect with other persons in that community? So let's say not even someone moving out of Nigeria. Let's say the person is moving from one place to another. We have a whole lot of people complain that they don't have people to connect with. They find it difficult to connect with people on even on small scale, not necessarily, or to find the right set of person to help them. So I just want to ask from your own experience, how do you go ahead to more like form that community, even while you move from like Nigeria to England, and then you're still able to um, get some set of persons to connect with? Yeah,
Okay, good question. How to find a community? I would say two things: being intentional about it. That's number one. It's really, really very important to be intentional about community. Because I mean, there's nowhere you go to that you probably find people that you share common interests with. If it is football that you're passionate about or something, you probably find people that are passionate about that, and you know where you can find them, where they hang out. For example, um, where they hang out. For example, let me say at a viewing center. That's just an example. Don't mind me, right? But yeah, but being intentional means you have to go out of your way to actually find to be a part of that community. And the difference with moving abroad is that it's the responsibilities now. I mean, living in Nigeria, for example, probably I would say that's where we all grew up. We have people around us. But moving to a different environment where you don't have people means that you have to actually intentionally be intentional about the community yourself and go for and just be intentional, really. And this is what I mean. For example, I don't know if you all know the Black Book movie that was released
yeah.
last month or so, or 2 months ago. Being in this country, I was just, this is a new Nigerian movie and people are talking about it. Then I thought, it would actually be nice for me to actually watch it. And my wife and I decided to watch it with friends. So we invited people over to our place and watched it together. It was beautiful. It was fun, like about maybe 10 of us, I can't remember. It was really cool to see the movie together and all of that. I posted the reels to Instagram. I think two people also were in my DM saying, "Oh, I want to see movie with friends as well." And in my head, I'm just like, just do it. Just organize it. Call your friends together and say, come, sit down, let's see this movie together. It requires being intentional like that. You get, because you now see people being, for example, out of the country and be like, oh, there's no people around me, blah blah blah. While when they've not made the move themselves to actually have people around, you know. So that intentionality is really very important. That's one. Which Yeah, in place of where to see them, you can see them. I've already talked about that in terms of like your common interest and where they are going to be. For example, for me, I go to church. So yeah, I meet a lot of great people in church. I've met and I'm meeting a lot of great people in church. I'm sure by the time I go to church tomorrow, there's going to be someone new. I'm like, hey, hi, get their name and yeah, just start talking to them. So there's need to go out more. That it's all part of that being intentional. You go out to church, you go out to events to actually meet people. Yeah, so there's that one. The second part I wanted to talk about is the use of social media. I really, really think that is important. I feel that's one thing a lot of people don't know how to use well. And why I'm saying that is because most people use it to consume. They are consumers on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, which is not bad. It's okay to follow a lot of people, be laughing at whatever they are doing and things like that. And but I'm not saying you should also be creating on all of these things. You don't even have to be loud, but you can also see it an extension and a means for you to actually build community and meet people. That is what I'm saying. You don't have to. It's probably as simple as you seeing somebody that you actually fancy, you like what they are doing, you rate them. It's just as simple commenting on them on their comments once in a while. Hey, I comment on their tweets, reply to their tweets, comment on their picture. Do you get? Over time, those kind of relationship will tend to go into the DM. They know your name. Do you get? Eventually, they will know you're not a stranger to them. Probably the first time you are meeting out, "Well, I've seen you somewhere. Instagram. Oh, you are the ABC and Z. Do you get? People don't use because a lot of people are just spectating on Instagram. You're watching the next reel, moving on to the next one. You're not seeing people that, oh, this would be probably someone I can learn from or have a connection to. I will want to have a connection with. You don't engage with them. So it's really, really important to, again, it still ties to the first one of being really, really intentional. So you have to be intentional about your use of social media. I've met a lot of people through Twitter. I've met a lot of people through Instagram that I don't know from Adam. I'm telling you, like it's not like, and if you see us when we meet, you're like, oh, hey, guy, how far now? How you did? How's your side? How was your trip that time? You would think that we probably went to primary school together, but I don't know them from anywhere. It's just because I see them online, I see their value and their interest, and it kind of aligns with mine. And these are people I'll be like, oh, this person is cool, right? And I engage with them, follow them, and see what they tweet, reply it, and banter when it's something serious. Share the serious thought and things like that. That way, when we are meeting in person, it should be like we've known ourselves like from way back. Do you get?
Yeah.
So there is really need for that being intentional and engaging people. So yeah, especially for people that are introverts or people that feel like they are not good with people, meeting people. See, just stop in the midst of scrolling to people's tweets and Instagram and things like that. Don't forget to engage, because that is how you make an impression. That is how you make your name known. That is how you strike conversations. That is how it works for a relationship as well. There are people that have met their wife and husband online, so there's that side too. Anyways, that's just a side note. I hope yeah, but really, it's really, really very, very important to really, really see people that you think your values aligns with theirs, and go out of your way to engage with them. It can just be simple as, and I'm sure people are really kind enough to actually respond and things like that. So it's really, really about the intentionality. And this works whether you're in a new environment or not, or you're trying to get into you know, a new environment and things like that. I hope that answered your question. It's a long answer. Sorry.
Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Um, Any other question? Anybody? Before we.
I've got my question in the chat
Okay, you
section.
said after this boot camp, is there any opportunity for one-on-one session with the facilitators? To be honest, the answer is no. I mean,
And to be honest, should I add to the answer? You don't. I feel like maybe you don't need one to one with the facilitator. I mean, I don't know who the previous facilitators are or the next ones are, but I feel you probably don't need one on one as well. Like I said, you can zoom closer to people on social media. Just zoom in a little closer. Like if there is anybody that you like how their mind works and you want to know more about them or you have questions, tweet at them, you know, probably follow them, engage with them. Like it doesn't have to you don't have to see I don't even if I want to sit down with Steve Jobs today, I cannot because I mean the guy is dead. But it doesn't mean I can't learn from him or I want to learn from who do I admire in the tech. I don't admire Elon Musk. That guy is not serious. I don't know. Maybe Tim Cook. You know, saying I want to have one on one with Tim Cook. I mean, it would be nice if it happens, but it may probably not happen, right? I can work towards it, of course, but it may probably not happen. But does that mean I can't learn from them? Does that mean I can't probably get my question? I mean, I can dare and start tweeting to Tim Cook from today, and you know, probably I will get an answer one day. But really, what I'm just trying to say is, may actually. I doubt. I mean, you already answered your question that that's a no anyways, but I think you may not need to, like, you can learn from people from afar, and if you need to have ask specific question, message them. Most of the time people are willing to respond and answer you and give you audience if it is worth your attention. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Joe, you wanted to say something? Johan.
Yes, thank you so much for that response. Like, well understood now. Now, I want to ask Mr.
Oh, your
Yes,
voice is gone again.
now, during the introduction, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you. We hope it's just continue that way.
Juwan, if you are using Glow, try Airtel or anything. I'm sorry. I'm just being mischievous right now. Please, we didn't get the question again. You can
But
leave
you
it
can
in the
just
chat
type
or
it.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
you can just type it. So what I mean by no is because we are not planning like one-on-one session with the facilitator for everybody, because that would be like a whole lot, and then considering their time also. So you have to know that everybody is they are doing other stuff like they have their life, etc. So there is no plan that we want to put up like one-on-one and the likes. But like so, I think it was Samson that shared it or thereabout, and then Rufus also talk about it. There are other ways that you can get in touch with people without necessarily wanting like one-on-one. Like there are other ways you can get in touch. There are other ways you can get across to people, right? Like for me, there was a way that I got across to Mr. Rufus um, to come for this program. So I believe there are ways that you can get across to people. There are ways that you can share your value even before you get to them. So that way it makes it quite easy for them to connect with you, rather than connecting with you on random face. So but if you want one-on-one, then I guess you have to do the work for the one-on-one. But yeah, that's it. So he has a question.
Yeah, I can see it in the chat on how was it like co-founding two businesses? Can you share the experience? Well, it's it was fun while at it, and I'm working on something else as well. I think it's just this, yeah, what it was like. To be honest, I don't know. With the life of a co-founder or founding a business, it can be very chaotic. It can be a lot of sleepless night as well. Just trying to do a lot of things and trying to build things and support what you're building and things like that. But at the same time, it's a very exciting journey. Um, that that can either lead to success or lead to lesson. So there's technically no failure. So if it doesn't work out the way you wanted, it probably means that there's a lesson there to learn, which is probably going to help with the next one as well. But yeah, founding businesses, especially tech businesses, can be fun, can be exciting, and can be high rewarding as well. And yeah, when it works, which is not every single time. But yeah, it was at it. But in terms of how to probably start or how it's just by seeing a problem that exists somewhere and deciding to solve it in exchange for money, right? So it's really that simple. I remember the first time I wrote, the project I was actually talking about that I did over that weekend. It led me to working, building. I mean, it was 2012. Konga and Jumia just launched in Nigeria. A lot of people were really building their e-commerce business. Everybody wants to sell online, and every bank too had their payment gateway. At the time, it was only InterSwitch that was the big guy, and you have to pay 150K to onboard them. And every bank was launching their own. There was Wema Pay, there was GTPay, and everyone was. So when you come to the bank, they are selling that to you. That if you want to launch e-commerce, come and we'll process it for you and things like that. You know, and yeah, there was that boom, and I noticed at the time I noticed that I was getting a lot of requests as a result of something I did on one of those projects that I did on over the weekend. I decided to make it a plugin for WordPress. WordPress is a popular content management system, but that was 2012. I decided to sell it, and that's why I launched my website in 2012 or 2013 as well, to be selling the plugin. And the beauty about this is, so it's a plugin that is meant to help you integrate web GT Pay and access bank payments gateway into your online store built on WordPress, right? And the beauty about that is I was able to, so there was a need, there was like a demand. Everybody was building their stuff. And I just said, sure, there's nobody that's written this plugin for this particular stuff. I decided to write it, and I wrote it already for the work I was doing. Then I decided to package it as a plugin and sell it. And I was doing, I sold like a lot of times when I was in camps. People would just message me, oh, I want to buy this. I would just send them invoice. It was 10K. 10K in 2012 was probably money. I don't know how much 10K. 10K is chicken change now, right? With all these naira kini. Anyways, but then I remember being in NYC camp self and selling the plugin like probably 3 or 4 while I was in camp. People would just place their request, and I'll send them the zip file they install on their site, and they are good to go. So why am I talking about that is because again, there's always the need of um there is always that chance for you to spot an opportunity, and if you can solve people's problem, can definitely exchange it for money, and that can be a business. So yeah, I think that's what led to Digital and Disha as well. Disha, we launched Disha, for example, because Digital grew so large. We were working with big clients like the First Bank, the Zenith Bank, and Transcorp and things like that. And we still get requests from people, small businesses and individuals that want websites, but they can't afford us at Digital. They can also, and their request is really simple. It wasn't something much. They can't afford us, and they are probably individuals, and they don't even have the technical know-how to build it themselves and things like that. Then we decided to build this. It's just a simple thing for them to have a web page. You just want to have a website. Okay, we'll give you something. So we built that product as well. So it was as a result of trying to solve a need that we noticed that there are people that can't afford the services of this big business, right? So how about we just do something? It's just like what every business is doing now in Nigeria, where there's Domino's pizza that you go and buy in the store. There's now the sachet Domino pizza where if you can buy inside traffic, you know, just so that everybody that wants to have a taste of that can have a taste of that wherever they are, right? So it's about understanding that, seeing that opportunity and bringing your product to where people are, and yeah, and exchanging it for money. So that went well. We were able to build. We that launched 2019, and it got acquired 2 years later by Flutterwave. So yeah, yeah, I think that's like the summary. So I already talked about the lessons you can learn from that as well. So just if you find a problem that you have, there's possibility that someone else have it as well. Solve it. Find the people that have it and sell it to them. That you find the solution to their problem. Do you get? So I think that works most of the time. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Any other question for anyone? I thought the boy wanted to say something. Um, if not, just don't worry. I guess that is any question. 1 minute, 1 minute. Guys, this is the last day, so after night is I can rest my head.
We all needed a rest, my brother.
So please, if you have question you want to ask, you can definitely. Also, I want to ask if there is a place that they want to connect with you or they want to do any sort, maybe a specific social media platform. Which one would it that be?
Ha, oh, I'm everywhere. Oh. Um, I'm on. Well, that's why my last what's it called? My last slide kind of included my handle everywhere. I am at Uluarfos on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube as well. And in terms of where to connect with me, I think Twitter is. If you have questions, you can tweet at me. I'll mostly respond. Most
But
likely
I
respond.
guess, for Twitter there is now verification kind of thing. So you cannot message someone that is verified if you are not verified.
I don't know what Elon is doing. That guy is he needs flogging. But anyways, yeah, most of the time I'm on. You can ask me. It can be Instagram as well, really. I think Instagram is more of me sharing. I engage with people on Instagram as well. So I mean, feel free to. I'm at Olu Arfos on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and LinkedIn. Yeah. So I think that I have Facebook account, but I've not used that in million years. I think we left that side for our parents. If you are still on Facebook, I'm sorry. But yeah, that is where to connect with me. I'm happy to connect with you as well and answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Excellent. So I guess that would be all for tonight. Since there is
Sweet.
no more questions.